Alrighty guys, tis I, Chrissy Girl. Welcome to my next playthrough, Pokemon Black 2. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to be tackling Black 2 for quite a while because I was currently doing Fire Red Omega and I wanted to get that all done on VG playthrough, but I just thought, what the hell, I can do both. This is the thing with me, I change my mind all the friggin' time. It's not surprising. But yeah, this is just, yeah. This is just another example of me constantly changing my mind. This intro is kind of cool. I suppose I kind of like Black 1's better though. You know, Black and White's opening better. Just so epic. This still emphasises the point it needs to do. You know, needs to make, I should say. Oh, sorry. I keep stumbling over my words and I don't know why. So anyway, this is Pokemon Black version 2. When Pokemon Black and White came out, everyone was expecting there to be a Pokemon Grey. Because every Pokemon game prior to this point has always had this special edition, shall we say. Like there was Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Emerald, and Pokemon Platinum. And, you know, with Black and White, people were expecting the same thing. You know, a special edition, a Pokemon Grey. And it never happened. What we actually got was a sequel, which was a first for the Pokemon series. This chap here happens to be Black Kyurem. I never actually mentioned Kyurem in the Pokemon Black playthrough. I'll have to, if I do an after game video, because I haven't at this point in time, I'll have to show him off. But Kyurem's a legendary you can catch in Black 1. He's hidden in the giant chasm. He's basically like, he's basically the same as what Zekrom and Reshiram are. They're like, Kyurem's also like a legendary dragon. He's actually an ice dragon, which is rather unique if you ask me. It's a really cool Pokemon if I remember rightly. But yeah, this is Black Kyurem. I won't spoil anything though, because otherwise it's going to kind of be a bit disappointing. But this chap here is Black Kyurem. In all his glory. Anyway, yeah, as I say, Black version 2 is the sequel to, you know, Black and White 2, the sequels to Black and White. First up, before I start playing the game, I'm going to do something called Memory Link. Now, what Memory Link is it can link to the memory in the first Pokemon Black game, which is kind of cool. So basically, it can actually sort of like remember the character that I was playing as and the Pokemon that I had in that game. So obviously, which dictates the Pokemon that Cheren and Bianca have as they appear in this game. But that's not really necessary. Most of the memory link stuff comes into play like after game. There are a few cases where memories will start playing when you enter specific locations and stuff. I won't go into too much detail about it, I'll just let the game sort of speak for itself. But I am actually doing this with the memory link switched on. I'm linking up to my Pokemon Black game. So, yeah, now memory link's sort of done. This new thing comes up, memory list. But I'm actually not going to watch them because I think they're the cutscenes. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to let them come into play when I come across them in the actual game. So now I can actually start the game properly, skip past all this. I've seen it once already, we don't need to see it again. So let's begin the game. And when the game begins, we see Professor Juniper, who once again makes a return. Only this time she's wielding a Cinccino. I think it was a Minccino in the first game and now it's a Cinccino. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'd feel like a bit of an idiot if I was pronouncing it wrong all this time. Okay. So, are you a boy or are you a girl? Well, I'm female. Last time I checked, in any case. Because of the memory link, occasionally my old characters from Pokemon Black, her name's going to be mentioned. Well, my name, because it's essentially the same thing. So I'm giving this character a different name, and I think the name's kind of appropriate, given that the character looks like she's a meatball head. I mean, seriously, she's a meatball head. And there is one other meatball head that I know of, and I'm referring to Serena from Sailor Moon, or Usagi, I should say. But I'm using the English name. And I'm sticking with the name that's kind of chosen for the rival character, because I just can't be bothered to think of a new name for him. The proper name's Hugh, but you can give him another name if you want to. But I'm sticking with Hugh because I can't be bothered to name him again. And so the game begins. It's a beautiful spring day. Though I wouldn't call January spring, because that's what it is now at the time of playing this game. And we get to see a new, shall we say, city? There's a woman walking down. And I have to be honest, the first time I actually saw her standing on the side, I took one look at her and thought, she looks a bit like a monkey when she's standing facing to the side. So we start the game and she's answering the X transceiver, cross transceiver, however you want to pronounce it. I think it is cross transceiver. And she's talking to Professor Juniper. We actually learned that Juniper's first name is Aurea. Is that how you pronounce it? So upon arriving home, I can take control of my meatball head. Okay. But yeah, I just couldn't help but think of Usagi the first time I saw this female character. So I knew I had to name it her Serena after the female. The English dub name. I could have gone for Usagi, but I mean, because even I admit the Sailor Moon dub is greatly inferior to the first game. Not first game, but the Japanese version, I should say. See, I'm stumbling all over my words. Now I'm changing the text speed to high because, fast, because I can't stand it on anything lower. So, may I introduce you to Aspertia City? It's a new city in Unova. If you didn't encounter it in the first game, well, that's because it wasn't there in the first game. It's kind of southwest in the region, in an area that was never explored in the first game. Okay, so let's chat to this little boy. You need a Pokemon to have a Pokemon battle. What about you? Okay. I don't know why I'm just exploring this house now. I mean, I don't even have a Pokemon. I mean, don't you need a Pokemon in order to be able to barge into people's houses, or can you just barge into people's houses regardless? So you take one step up here, and we're greeted by our rival and his sister. And finds out that a person named Bianca, yes, it is the same Bianca from Pokemon Black, that is right. She's coming down here to give me my first Pokemon. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but the plot of this game takes place 2 years after the events of Pokemon Black, so we are going to see some old friends from the first game. And Hugh's going to tag along, so I don't really feel it's right to explore any other houses with him, like, stalking me so closely. It's like, I'm not letting you out of my sight till you get your Pokemon. Yeah. Bianca is up here because she's not going to know where else to go because she doesn't know her way around Aspertia. I think this is kind of assuming that she's never really been around this sort of area of Unova before. So now Hugh's going to leave me alone. And there is Bianca. She's changed quite a bit. If you look at her carefully, you can see that she actually has glasses now. Yes, I know a person named Serena. I think I'm her. But yeah, if I name her Serena, then you're kind of not going to really mind so much that occasionally the character's name that I was using in Pokemon Black is going to occasionally crop up due to memory link. But it is so rare that, in fact, it primarily turns up in After Game. But, you know, if I ever do cover After Game in the future, then at least I know that, you know, I'm covered. Same 3 starters as from Pokemon Black. You've got Snivy, who I used in the first game, Tepig, and Oshawott. I had a bit of a debate of whether I was going to use Tepig or Oshawott. I knew I was going to rule Snivy out from the get-go because I used it in Black. So it was between Tepig and Oshawott, so I decided to go with Oshawott. And the nickname I'm going to give it was actually suggested by my husband, believe it or not. He took one look at Samurott, the fully evolved form of Oshawott, and said, "It looks like a bit of a cross between a unicorn and a Loch Ness Monster." So, my Oshawott's name is Unilock. So yeah, you can blame my husband for that lame-ass nickname. Okay, so we get our Pokédex. And I believe we're ready to go. Seems like Bianca's equally peeved. So, Hugh's tagging along. And yeah. So Snivy is kind of like the more defensive of the 3. It's probably the hardest one to raise. But it's still a really good Pokemon. I mean, I hope I proved that in Pokemon Black. I think it's a really great Pokemon. Tepig I have used before in Pokemon Black as well. The very first time I played it, actually. And it was also a pretty good Pokemon if you know how to use it. Bit slow, but pretty good. But, you know, I want to give Oshawott a go. I played Oshawott. I used Oshawott in Pokemon White when I briefly had it for that time, and it was pretty good. So, first ever battle in the game, and as usual, it's pretty much a rival battle against Hugh. Hugh will always have the Pokemon that your Pokemon is weak against. So, as I have Oshawott, he's going to have Snivy. If you have Snivy, he's going to have Tepig. And if you have Tepig, he's going to have Oshawott. But at this point, it doesn't really matter, because the only moves you really have are, like, one normal attack, which is physical based, and a move which alters the stats of your opponent, or something, like Growl or Leer. Long story short, you just want to go with the offensive move the whole time. It's going to be a bit boring, but it's better that way. Unfortunately, if Snivy had gone completely, you know, had not been stupid and just got used physical attacks the whole way through, it would have beaten me, because Snivy is unfortunately faster than Unilock is. But whatever. Unfortunately, he was stupid and used Leer, so I thrashed him. So, Hugh's also heading out on his journey. He's older than my character, but you know, he's only just heading out on a journey himself. But his journey is leading him to a completely different location. He doesn't want to become a champion, unlike my character. No, he wants something else. So here's the obligatory, this is what a Pokemon Center looks like thing that was very similar to what was in Pokemon Black 1. Except this time it's Bianca showing you around. This is a very good opportunity to heal up after fighting Hugh, or your rival, depending on what you named him. Got the PC, as per usual. This is where you can deposit Pokemon, especially if you've got a team over 6. You know, because you can only carry 6 Pokemon about at a time. If you have more than 6 Pokemon, the rest of the Pokemon that you're not using go straight to the PC. And Bianca's kind enough to give you Pokeballs. Not only that, she gives you 10 of them. How damn nice of her. Anyway, I'm going to buy some potions. At this point in time, you can only buy potions and Pokeballs, but very quickly you'll be able to buy other items as well, which heals status conditions like paralyze and stuff. And this person sells mail, which I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever, so yeah. Okay. Upon exiting the Pokemon Center, we're greeted by our strange-looking monkey mum. I'm sorry, but she really does look a bit like a monkey from the side. And that hairdo is just so strange. Anyway, I like the fact that she gives you the running shoes so early in the game. I mean, it's not like other games where you kind of have to wait for a period of time. You get it straight away, so you don't have to worry about it so much. I mean, it's tedious walking. Running is so much better. It's faster. So Bianca's going to show us how to capture a Pokemon in a second. And Hugh's little sister gives you two town maps, one of which you've got to give to Hugh. So we've got to catch up with him at some point. Where he's gone, I don't know. And it's nice to know I'm so well known in Aspertia City. I'm popular. Anyway, this person gives you a potion. Always handy to have. Of course, the bulletin board makes a return. I mean, Unova hasn't changed that much. Anyway. Okay, I really don't know about that day on Route 1 because this is a different character. She's not supposed to know about your adventures, Bianca. Anyway, obligatory how to capture a Pokemon tutorial. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway. Obligatory Pokemon, how to catch a Pokemon tutorial. And it's led by Bianca this time. She's got a really weak Lillipup level 5. Then again, I suppose it would be a bit wrong if she pulled out her Stoutland at this point and tried to catch a level 2 Purloin with it. Okay. So, a lot of the directions she gives on the bottom screen to sort of like where to go to get your Pokeball and stuff, but it's really straightforward. Just bag Pokeballs and then you toss the thing. You pick the Pokeball you want, you toss it. So straightforward. You can't screw it up. So Bianca just sort of covers very briefly what to do. Make sure you lower your Pokemon's hit points as much as you can before trying to catch it. Paralyze, sleep, things like that help. Don't use poison, because that gradually depletes health on each turn. This is actually where I first attempted to catch a Purloin, and I just found the thing really friggin' annoying. I caught it fine. I tried to use it and I just could not get along with it. It's shite. You can also catch Patrat on this route, which can be useful as a HM slave, I suppose. Not quite as good as like Lillipup, I suppose, as a HM slave, but not bad. I mean, it can use Cut. And I really don't want to slap Cut on any of my other Pokemon. Oh, look who it is! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you remember Alder from Pokemon Black, aka the former champion. Yes, I said former. This guy's no longer the champion of Unova. He's still a powerful trainer, don't get me wrong. But he is no longer the champion. Somebody else has taken his place, but I'm not spoiling who that person is. It's bad enough that I actually opened my yap and said that he was no longer the champion. I mean, I should have kept my yap shut there. And yes, I caught a Purloin and a Patrat. I have no intent of using them. When I first started this playthrough, I was like, I'm going to catch every Pokemon I come across just to add them to my Pokédex properly. And I very quickly gave up on that idea. So yeah, I caught a fucking Purloin, and for no reason at all, basically. Oh, I suck. So in here, we have a couple of people to chat to. Not really much as a lily pup. What's in here? I don't think I've been in this house. Oh, how cute. Yeah, we do return to a few areas of Unova that we've been into in Pokemon Black. From Castelia City onwards, pretty much. I mean, you can't really go to Necrene City and all those areas until after game in this game. But you know, you can go to, you know, you've got new cities and a few cities you can revisit, a few new cities and towns. Cities and towns that you couldn't visit until after game in Pokemon Black that you can access before after game in this game. So, you know, it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't completely feel like a rehash. It feels like it is a game that takes place after the first one, even if it does feel very repetitive. But it's a Pokemon game. I love this formula. So I can live with that. So anyway, Alder will not train you until you go and give the town map to Hugh. So, got to head out to the Floccacy Ranch, which is not far from here. Oh, and our first trainer battle! Yippee! And it's a youngster. I like the fact that the character, you know, the trainer animations, you know, the trainers are now animated. That's the way to word it. They're animated now. I like that. I think that's a really nice touch. Definitely a nice little improvement. So, I may have caught a couple of Pokemon from Route, is it 19? But I have no intent on using them at all. Unilock is the only Pokemon I'm going to be using. I'll probably end up slapping them in the PC at one point. You know, sticking them in the PC and leaving them there. But yeah, at the moment I have no intent on using them. I'm just kind of mooching along with Pokemon that I have no intent on using. And alas, with a Purloin. Oh, how I pity you. This should easily help Unilock get up to level 8. I love how powerful Water Gun is in this game. I mean, to be fair, the Pokemon are pretty weak, but wow, Water Gun hits hard. I mean, it's still pretty weak compared to other moves, but I love it. I mean, I've probably got to take Stab into account as well, you know, same type attack bonus. What we got here? Paralyze Heal. Why is it spelled Paralyze Heal? I've always wondered that. Because in every game that I've, you know, from Ruby and Sapphire and all that onwards, it's always been, you know, I haven't played the 2 generations before that on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Not much anyway, very briefly. I've always wondered why it was called Paralyze Heal and not Paralyze Heal. Probably too many characters. It's not an issue, it's just a curious, you know, I'm curious, that's all. Oh, Patrat. There are a few Pokemon on Route 20, a few more than what's on Route 19 for certain. Patrat and Purloin are here, but you've also got a few others as well. Like, I think Sawaddle's on this route. That's a pretty decent grass bug type, but it's got 4 times weakness to fire. That's the only problem. I think there are a few others as well, like P-Dove and stuff. Anyway, see you in the next part.